لا اللي من هو شو ما نعرفش. Hi.
Hello. And we're back. And
We're already up to 5 people.
oh, that's good. And very professional, very fucking professional. Please mute
What?
your fucking phones.
Mine's always mute, so I have no problems.
God damn it, Road.
Okay, let's all of us go mute until.
No, it's
we're
fine.
called on.
You're already live. Everyone can hear you.
Oh fuck.
Hey, what about Sean?
Sean will be
we're-
introduced later on. No. Anyways, we're gonna have a small recap of what happened last week. Was it last week? Anyway, I think it was last week. Where essentially you had all been caught in prison at some point, and in the case of the wench who was sent to the Duke for an unknown reason. Please introduce yourself again to any of the new viewers that we might have today. Oh fuck.
Who? All of us will introduce ourselves.
Yes, all of you, please.
So, I guess I'll start. My character is the first one, Jackson Hayes. He's a human. He's a blood hunter. His blood magic is a curse to him.
Wench, would you like to introduce yourself?
Why are we starting to insult her? Jesus.
Because she decided to take the joking option of sacrificing a child. Pay the consequence.
Yes, hi, I'm the wench named Valkyrie who sacrificed a 6-year-old to have demon magical powers.
Also known as the Warlock Pact. Ruth, could you please introduce your character? We're professional,
Hello.
we fucking swear. Fucking hell, guys.
Hello, my name is Fergus, and I'm a ginger idiot, I guess. I'm also a gunslinger, so an idiot with a gunslinger. With a gun.
So professional.
Shush.
Remember, no reciprocating comments, I don't want to get banned. Anyways.
So,
Which is fine. No,
We're nervous, okay?
I can tell. How do you think I feel on the inside?
And just to clarify, yes. And tricks, I said it naturally because I'm used to it now.
Alright, so. You are currently in the hall in front of a very large posh throne. You can kind of see it's adorned with gold, as well as very plush looking cushions. On top
Wait,
of
just
it.
to stop you there.
Yes, Baroness.
Who are you talking about right now?
Right now you were taken into the Duke's room. You currently, Luigi,
No, whose story? Mine?
no, this is everyone's.
Oh,
okay.
aren't me and Root in the jail cell at the moment?
You,
But-
Yeah.
as I, did you not get dragged out yet? You had not been dragged out yet. You're
No.
correct.
no.
Alright.
Me and Mark and Sean are still in the jail cell.
Retconning
no,
that.
Sean is
Sean will appear
Who you
later on.
Okay.
So, retconning a tiny bit before the throne scene. In your jail cell, you just begin looking around after you both wake up. Do you talk to each other?
Yeah.
yeah. Who are you?
Fergus, who are you?
I'm in a lot of pain. Ow.
You mean here? I'll poke your leg.
No. Why are you trying to touch me? Where are we?
I think jail.
But that's not right. I'm a Kingsguard. I'm not supposed to be in jail.
Yeah, and I was framed for murder.
Something's not right.
You don't say.
As you say
But,
that, you begin hearing the sound of heavy footsteps, beginning to walk down the hall towards your jail cell. You just stay
Who's there?
Keep it down, lass. There are prisoners trying to sleep.
Do I know him by any chance?
Give me an insight check. You can't see him, but you can try to recognize him by his voice alone.
Okay, inside. Give me a
His
second.
chair is a piece of shit.
Same.
Sergeant Gale strong, 19.
Alright, that's good. You kind of recognize this to be one of your previous comrades, and he wasn't in the last group where you went with, which to have died, and then the large Goliath person was there with you. This is the person by the name of Jardina.
Good. Is it a dude or a chick?
It's a dude. His parents
Okay.
really didn't love him. Yes, that is correct.
Ouch. I call out to Jardina then.
You kind of like go over to the bars. First thing, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh yeah, my arm's still
Yes.
in bad shape, isn't it?
Yep, it's in pretty fucked up shape.
Do we have inspiration?
Yes, standing order
You roll
each
a
session that we have a 1 inspiration policy. So you have 1 inspiration. Plus you can get more by RPing well, the normal.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that one. I'm gonna reroll.
Right?
19 total.
19 total, and I'm realizing that Fergus's HP is actually not shown on screen. I'll have to fix that later on. 19 total. You manage to just suck in the pain slightly as you lean too much on your hand as you try to get up, and you remember, oh yeah, this hand's fucky. You pull it back, and you begin moving forward.
You need help?
I'm fine. Don't. I'm
This
not
is-
supposed to be here. I'm fine.
This
Are you
large,
sure?
stout-looking guard in a metal helmet just pops his head around the door. Like, what? What do you want?
There has to be a mistake. Jardina, I'm not supposed to be in here.
Well, tough fucking shit, you got blighted. You're lucky
Blighted?
enough you didn't get executed on the spot.
What do you mean? Can I? What am I wearing right now? I'm wearing just
You have a tunic with a torn off arm, very basic armor, like which is also in tatters mostly. You have a very, I'll say okayish looking pair of trousers, as well as very noble shoes, to be fair.
I mean, considering the fact that I was literally dragged
Yeah,
here
exactly.
after. So I slightly pull down my shirt to reveal the blight.
You kind of look at it and you see now it's spreading to your chest.
This can't be right.
Well, it is
How-
fucking right.
The king wouldn't just toss me into jail because I got blighted. After all I've done for him.
Well,
The Duke,
tough.
sorry.
He ain't one of his blood, so. Yeah. Regardless, he wants to see ya. You too, Fergus looking fuck.
Hi.
He can, as he says that, like, you hear him jingle some keys and he opens the door. You begin to hear more footsteps. Also, don't try anything funny. We got more boys around here. I'm telling you because I know you.
You know me, you know I'm not gonna do anything funny.
Not we worried about you. I'm worried about the kid.
Why?
I'm sorry, who's the one here accused of murder?
Yeah.
By the
Um,
way, Fergus,
What?
the name is Jackson Hayes.
Nice to meet you.
I wish we met on better terms. Let's head to the Duke.
Yeah.
You kind of are escorted out of the room and you start walking downwards. Down the hall, opposite of stairs. You can both give me a perception check to look around you if you so wish.
Perception check. Sure. I don't see Jackson.
13.
13 tree. You can already tell you the tree sees fuck all. And
Yeah, I
the
didn't do that.
13, you begin looking around slightly. You kind of like are able to peer into cells. You see a lot of people who you yourself had convicted beforehand that have not yet been executed. One of which included a small child, perhaps only 6 years old.
Why is there a kid here?
You would not have seen this, so your character would not know this information. I'm sorry.
No, I'm the one that got the tree, so
Oh wait.
She
well,
rolled the high number.
I thought.
She wrote the
Okay,
high number
sorry,
on
I
me.
mistake. Okay, this is why I hate online. Alright, so you kind of see the child and you turn them and you're like, why does it get here? How do you respond to this?
Why is this
She's-
child here?
She's talking to me or
Yeah, she's
Jardina?
talking to you.
I don't know. Maybe he got cursed like me. Got blighted.
Give me a deception check, because you are the one that actually brought them in.
Oh, then shouldn't I know this? Because I don't actually know
You
this.
do know this, you could have just told me what is the story, but anyway, for future. You
Yeah.
basically knew that the parents of this child had been tried and executed for witchcraft, which was actually proven. So you were afraid, well, not you exactly, the Duke ordered you to go get the child, put them in the jail cell, at the first sign of any magic usage, execution.
Okay, so I basically tell Fergus that it's not pretty, but Duke's orders.
No offense, but the Duke is not a nice person.
Yeah, he's just looking out for the best of the village, for the city. Sorry.
But it's a child. What does a child? What can he be capable of?
As you keep talking, Jardina kind of like pokes you in the back with the butt of his sword and is like, keep moving, no lollygagging, come on, got places to be.
Where are we going exactly?
But
To
go
the
on.
Duke.
Yeah. I wants to see
Oh,
you.
joy.
Are we currently in handcuffs?
Not right now, but you know that if you did try to go into a fisticuff battle against 5 armed guards, you'd more than likely get the shit beat out of you.
Yeah. I mean, what are they? They're like trolls or something like that.
No, these are like 2 humans, 2 half elves, and a Goliath.
Okay. Yeah, we know it's not smart to tussle with them. So yeah, we best make haste, Fergus.
Yeah.
Alright. It takes you
So-
about 5 minutes before you reach the throne room.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on the outside, Luigi, you are just brought around the corner in front of the Duke's palace in your caravan. Step out,
Okay.
it's very rainy. One of the guards kind of gets a tent for you, gonna shelter where you're walking. What is going through your character's mind during all of this? You have no idea why you're being summoned here, or what the hell is going on.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, like I'm still feeling like sort of, I wouldn't say burns, but like tingling pain in the arm. And like I'm still wondering why exactly was I summoned, like if it was because of the sacrifice or he has no idea what I did.
Okay, as a brief idea, this happened a month ago, the whole sacrifice thing. But anyway, you walk forward and eventually you're led into the throne room. Now, back to where we started originally, because I forgot about this. You're put in front of a very large, solid iron throne with very plush cushions. You can see gold adornments, which is peculiar given that the town is supposedly poor on the outside, but yet the monarchy seem to be living it up with little decals of gold representing different animals upon their throne.
Ah, so they're keeping all the money to themselves.
Do you say that in
this
character?
is-
Yes.
Oh.
So all of us are there now, right?
You kind of like are brought into the throne room, thrown on your knees, and then you just hear the door swing open, and this fair-looking maiden shows up, which you recognize to be the wench for the king.
Ah, so the wench is here as well.
Hello there.
Don't get any ideas, Fergus. That's
I
the wench
won't.
for the king.
I won't.
I'd like not to be banned on Twitch, so no sex scenes between players, thank you. For future reference. Christ's sake. If anything, we do that off stream. But anyway, back to the game. So, you're brought in
Yeah.
into the throne room, as I said, And you just see the Duke there holding his head in his hand, tapping away with his other on the throne's arm. Why must you bother me with these things? Doctor, are you going to speak, or are you just gonna stand there all day looking like a shadow? He says as you see him turn his head slightly towards a very dimly lit part of the room. You can all give me perception checks, please.
I got a 16.
17.
11.
11.
So
With
perception.
16, you are able to see that there is a large looking figure with a plague doctor mask hiding in one of the shadows. He kind of steps out as you see his long spindly legs as well as very very darkly tanned leather trench coat and gloves. As the light kind of hits his mask, you see dark green lenses that completely conceal any side of his eyes, as well as the very tanned black leather.
So there's a plague doctor here as well.
Yes.
What's going on?
The plague doctor stares at you inquisitively, and then towards Fergus, then towards the wench. He kind of turns his head over to the Duke. The Duke sighs slightly. Still doing his bloody silent act, that would seem. Alright. If it weren't me, all of you would be killed. Including you, wench.
So wait, Duke, you would have killed your best soldier and the king's wench?
We all know what goes on behind closed door. The wench is a user of necromantic magic and we all fucking know it. The king
look
is
at
blind to it.
I look at the wench. Is this true?
Don't talk to me, please.
Are you eating something?
Me or Louis?
Louis.
I had my thumb in my mouth.
God fucking damn it. This is why we don't have nice things. Professional stream, everyone! Fucking hell! Alright.
It's not us
Yes.
if we mess up in something, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, continuing. I look at the Duke. Me, the king's guard. I have never done anything against the crown or you.
Well, you should have thought about that before you got infected by the witch.
You're the one that sent me on that hunt.
Well, you shouldn't have gotten hit then. It's bad enough I lost 2 men.
Yeah.
Give me a
You should have-
perception check. Before you like
All of
continue
us or
speaking.
just him?
No, just him.
16.
You realize something is bearing down on the Duke's mind. You kind of know him very well. Something is really, really bothering him. He doesn't normally act this way. You can... Everyone give me a history check.
Okay,
18.
13.
13.
18 plus 2, so 20.
Alright, so you know that the basic ideas behind Plague Doctors is that they are an omen of death to come. But in the case of this particular person, you kind of recognize him from stories told of the spindly Plague Doctor. He comes at the beckon of royals. Not because they offer him money, but because there is need of a very potent potion to be made. As you look him over, you kind of recognize him to be the actual one, as said in the stories. So some serious shit is going down.
So I look at the Duke. Do I know the Duke's name?
You weren't really on a first name basis. You'll always refer to him as my lord and or Duke.
Okay, so I go, Duke, what is going on? Why is this plague doctor here?
Look, it's either the death sentence or an essential death sentence. You're gonna accompany the plague doctor.
To
We
where?
we are in need of a rare herb.
A rare herb.
That is correct.
For what?
The king's son is sick, some form of malice. The only thing that can heal him is a potion made from godly tears. It's only known to grow in the elven side of the world, which is 2 continents over.
How bad is the King's Kid?
The Plague Doctor just stares at you slightly again, like... Give me an insight check.
Wouldn't I have advantage since I'm close to the king?
The Plague Doctor is the one giving you this look.
Oh, okay. 10.
10.
Wait, no,
alright.
insight or...
Insight, yes, that's correct.
So that's 9.
9.
Okay.
You have no clue, sadly. Look, it's none of your business. You're gonna accompany him. Unless you just want to be taken to the stockades and killed. If you manage to get
No,
the herb,
no. I think we can manage.
as I was saying, for I was rudely interrupted.
Sorry.
Fergus, shut up.
You need to accompany the Plague Doctor. The journey should take you about 2 weeks. The Plague Doctor will pay for all your expenses, and at the same time, if you come back successful, we'll waiver that charge.
Yeah, that's bullshit for me.
That will also be
Weird.
waived. You'll be exiled out of the town.
So, be exempted from the death sentence and be banished out of this town.
That's correct.
After all I've done for this town.
Laws are laws. Do you think I enjoy it?
Weirdly enough, I think you do, Duke.
I punch him on the shoulder.
Give me a strength check.
And
Oh god, his arm is injured.
he never
Oh
specified
my
his arm.
god!
Can I do a dexterity check to fucking move out of the fucking way?
No,
I
it's
try to
because it's a
hold her arm?
surprise round, and I'm sorry. I'm assuming you got a
20.
natural 20?
+1.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Can I try to stop her arm?
If you manage to roll a natural 20 dexterity, sure!
Ah, fucking this kid. I'll just end up being punched in the face, I guess.
How much?
17.
I was hoping it was a natural one. So you kind of like see him about to hit the guy's arm, and you're like, no, and it's too late. He hits him in the arm. Please roll me a d6, Luigi.
Oh no. This is. There it is.
Professional.
5.
How much points of damage did I get?
We're waiting to see.
He said 5.
5.
Yeah.
You take 5 points of damage. And Luigi, your character also takes 5 points of damage. As you hit him, your hand is suddenly engulfed in flame, as the black veins within Hayes' arm begin to glow a dark crimsony red.
Goody.
What's going on?
You kind of see this flame, but you don't actually feel it at all. It's like, this
Self-defense,
shit
sort
happened.
of.
Like, you don't even feel the flame shoot out of your body, even though your shoulder is essentially on fire.
How don't I feel this fire?
The
Where
Duke
did-
just stares at you like, fuck, what's going on?
I have no fucking clue.
Like 2 seconds later, the fire extinguishes, the veins turn back to black, and you're just kind of there. Alright. Before I actually send you the fucking stockades, get the fuck out. Doctor, there's a caravan waiting outside. You have your travel money and whatnot.
Can I have my armor back, Duke?
It's in the caravan.
Can I have my gun back?
Debatable.
I'm gonna what's it called? I'm gonna try to convince the Duke to let Fergus have his gun.
Give
That would
me
be
a...
Can I have one more request?
What is it?
There was this toy. My sister gave it to me. I don't want to leave it.
Kind of like turns over to one of the guards. Make sure it's done.
Thank you.
So I don't need to roll to
You
convince
don't
him?
need to roll, you don't need to roll.
Okay.
You kind of like are then escorted out, and you just see the Duke is like pacing back and forth slightly. The Plague Doctor hands him a small black vial of something from inside his trench coat, and then he starts following you. This Plague Doctor stands at around 9 foot tall, which is quite strange for a very, very spindly looking thing.
Wait, what did you say? The Plague Doctor is 9 foot tall?
Yes. And the thing is, if it was like a Dragonborn and stuff like that, it would make sense, but a Dragonborn is not naturally beefy. This one is almost skeletal in his features, although most of his features are actually coated.
So, like Jack Skellington.
Basically.
Kind of, yes.
Like skullduggery.
So we're escorting the Duke to the caravan.
Yes.
I mean the Plague Doctor to the caravan.
Yes. Well, not exactly who the guards are.
Okay, so we're making our ways to the stockades.
Yes.
Okay, so I go and equip my armor, I guess.
You're kind of taken
Stockades.
over to the caravan. The stockades are there, all your items, including your pistol and gun, Fergus.
Thank you.
In the
Pistol and
And my
case,
plush.
and your plush, yes. And Valkyrie, in your case, they didn't really take anything. You still have your book attached to your side, as well as most of your other objects, trinkets, and treasures gained from whoring yourself out.
Yes.
Alright? So, do you have any questions before we continue?
Yeah, well, I'm getting my armor back, right?
Yes, then your AC goes up. You can actually. You gain the ability to use your weapons, which are listed in your character sheets.
Okay, and my AC goes up to how much?
What is your current AC?
12.
It goes up to 16.
Just tell me what 18 you said? What? How much?
16.
16. Okay, got that equipped. Okay, so do I see my steed?
You don't really see your steed anywhere in sight. He's not even attached to the horse, or so it seems.
I try to give him a whistle to come towards me.
Give me an animal handling check.
Fuck. Animal handling. I get a natural one with no buffs.
You seem to be forgetting that your arm is slightly hurt, and you always go for your dominant hand. As you lift it up, you just like, fuck, this was not a good idea. Fuck. And you just like keel backwards, I think. And yeah, you don't manage, to say the least.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to leave my steed behind.
That's correct.
I grab on one of the steeds. Plague Doctor, do you know which way we have to go?
Turns to you again, and then he just takes a hand out of his pocket and points towards the caravan.
The quiet type. This should be fun. So, Fergus, Wench, are you ready to go?
Yeah, whatever.
Ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah,
What else have I got to lose?
you're telling me.
Famous last words. You clamber onto the caravan, and it The Plague Doctor like goes at the front. You see him get on without like the need of a stepladder or anything, and grabs
Of course,
the
because he's 9 feet.
he grabs the leads in his hand and he just whips the horses slightly. The caravan jolts and then it begins heading out. The curtains in the caravan are drawn. Do you wish to look outside?
Yeah.
I draw my side down.
Alright.
I don't bother.
You have your head stuck in a book?
Yes.
No.
So, Fergus, tell me about this so-called framing that happened to you.
I'm not sure exactly what happened. I was sleeping in the inn, then I woke up and my stuff has been moved around. I went to the bridge, and there they said that there was a dead body.
Who's that body?
That was the dead body of one of the royals within the town, a lead beneficiary of the Duke himself.
Yeah, he was one of the
So,
royals. I
you're
went to
being-
check my gun, and then I had bullets missing. Everyone then started to blame me because I'm one of the only gunslingers here.
You're an outsider. I never seen you around town, so what made it more common sense you hiding your guns?
I did. Someone took the key to the hidden stash, and then ended
As
up
in,
taking
you
it.
hide them from the public.
Yeah.
In the
So
back,
why are you here, Winch? Sorry,
Why do
Max.
you care?
Because it seems like we got a long way all together.
And I would prefer if you could shut up.
You're charming as ever. I do not see what the king sees in you.
And I just stick my head in the book and not give a damn.
Damn, she's cold.
Luigi, in the back of your mind, you just begin hearing again. Tick, tock. Make allies. Well, you do have some time to spend. What's the shame? Perhaps one of them could eventually lead to a benefit for both of us. Tick, tock. Get the job done. And then it stops.
Okay.
As the caravan begins to kind of move forward, you just hear it like eventually hit the dirt path as there isn't the constant clicking of cobblestone under the wheels. As you look around, you can see like the very lush forest surrounding the town, as well as the twilight sun that is slowly descending. What do you guys do?
I guess I'll take a rest to heal up my hit points.
That is an option.
Ready?
Yeah,
So-
I guess we'll find a place to go rest.
Maybe
You
we
don't
can
really
rest.
need to find a place to rest, you can rest in the caravan. The Plague Doctor doesn't seem to want to stop as he kind of forces the horses to keep going.
I guess we'll sleep sitting.
I don't know what you're gonna do, but I'm gonna lay down on my side.
I grab my toy, my plushie, and put it on my head as a pillow. And then I sleep.
Luigi, what do you do?
Lean against the door and sleep.
Okay. Everyone kind of tries his best to get comfortable, and with the sound of the constant hooves digging now into the dirt as well as the occasional whipping, you fall asleep. You wake up in the morning, the cart is moving.
It's still moving, or is...
It stopped moving.
Hey, what's wrong?
I don't know. I'll
Wait.
go out and check.
Out of game, the hit points got restored now, right?
Yes, they
Long
were
rest,
restored,
yes.
yes.
Alright.
I'll go out and check.
You kind of go out, you like, takes you a tiny bit to unlock the door, and you look around. You don't really see much. The Plague Doctor doesn't seem to be anywhere close. Give me a perception check.
Just Mark.
Just Mark, since he's the one that's like went outside for now.
6.
Okay. You don't see anything in particular.
Okay. I yell out to the Plague Doctor.
No response.
This is weird. Wait in the cart, both of you. I'm gonna go see if I can find him.
Be careful.
I kinda check my shoulder to see if the pain's still there.
The veins are still there, but the pain is lessened. It would seem that over time the pain will no longer be an issue.
Can I do a perception check if I could wield my sword with my dominant hand?
Yeah, by all means.
Is that perception or insight?
That's an insight check.
18 total.
You think it isn't the greatest idea, but it would also stop you from rolling a disadvantage out of game. It won't damage you, but if you are, example, hit in the sword, it would actually still kind of rattle you
Hurt.
slightly.
Okay. So it won't give me a disadvantage out of game, but it will still...
It'll hurt.
Every time I strike with it, I'm still gonna take damage.
Only if you hit badly. Like if you
Okay.
swing and miss, then you take damage.
Okay.
Alright, so you start venturing down to the forest and you don't really see anything. Give me another perception check.
Okay. 19.
You are now able to see the Plague Doctor, who has just passed some bushes, as you see him hunched over, his long spindly fingers in extremely exaggerated gloves. To be honest, they reach up to his elbow as he seems to be plucking up these red flowers.
So, that's where you are, Plague Doctor.
Kind of turns to you for a moment, then turns back. He keeps plucking them one by one.
What are you, Doc? You ain't human.
He doesn't even bother to turn his head. You see him reach into his coat and take out a large glass vial as he starts inserting these flowers within them.
You're not gonna talk to us at all, are you?
No response.
Figured as much. Well, I'm gonna be here guarding you until you get to the cart.
A few minutes go by, and before it ends, you see a small bluebird settle itself on a branch. Plague Doctor's head instantly snaps as soon as the sound of its feather appear, and you see almost like primal instinct kick in as it stares at it.
Doc, you okay?
No response, not a sound, until you hear the sound of a twig break nearby.
Can I have a perception check to see if I realize where it's going?
By all means. You see the Plague Doctor now as soon as you hear the twig like instantly shifts his head as he's reaching inside his coat.
Okay. Natural one.
You don't see anything at all, so much so that you kind of like try to peer around the corner, and when you move a branch, it slips from your hand and hits you square in the face, like that.
How much points of damage?
No damage, no damage.
Okay. Like, why?
The Plague Doctor keeps his hand inside his coat for now. Another snap, and you just see him beginning to walk backwards towards the cart.
Doc, what's going on?
Give me another
I-
perception check.
From one extreme to another, to natural 20.
You see him, he's holding what seems to be a large, heavy crossbow at the ready. And given you got a natural 20, I'll tell you what's around you. As you kind of look around you again, you begin to see 3 pair of red eyes
insight in. We'll see what these red eyes are,
By all means.
or history.
Let's an
History.
insight check insight.
12 total.
These are timberwolves. They're natural to this area and are more than likely trying to fend off their perimeter.
Okay. Doc, get in the cart now.
You kind of see him like he keeps walking backwards slightly and kind of like holsters his thing back and takes out this random brownish powder as he kind of tosses it forward. There's a bunch of twig snapping, and 3 wolves suddenly go in the middle of it as they begin gnarling at each other. As he just like full on bolts it back to the cart.
I bolted behind him.
To Fergus and Valkyrie, what do you do in the meantime?
He's taking long. I'm worried.
Should any of us go check?
I guess I could.
I'll come with you on board anyway.
I guess we go check and see what's going on.
You kind of like step out, you have your weapons on hand, I assume, and you begin walking forward.
Wait, quick question. What weapons do I have?
You are a spell user, you also have a dagger if you so wish.
Alright.
You begin walking forward, and then as soon as you take around 5 paces, you just see them running back towards the cart, like, get in, now.
Get back into the cart! Get
Well, what's
back
wrong?
in!
What's wrong?
Get in!
I run to the cart and
Alright,
We
everyone.
basically get stuck in the door as we try to enter together.
No. I'm jumping in the front next to the plague doctor.
The plague doctor takes out some more of this random brown dust, and he begins like chucking it in the air frantically as he whips the horse and the entire cart bolts forward. I am going to need Fergus and Valkyrie. Please give me a dexterity saving throw.
15 plus...
24.
1 second, plus 2, so 17.
Alright, you won't manage to make it as he didn't close the door entirely. You're almost about to like fall out, but you managed to like hold on to the side of the door. You begin heading downwards into deeper within the forest. As you look around, a very little light is being able to pass through the leaves all around you. And there's a lot of mushrooms and other kinds of herbs and stuff growing on the trees, including a very distinct purplish moss.
Does anyone know what that is?
You can give me a nature check to see if you would know.
Do we all give you a nature check?
Since Fergus was the one that showed curiosity, I'll say he doesn't.
Okay.
Nature's, right?
Yes.
10.
You don't exactly know what this is. You assume that this is some form of herb known as dog to the water. It's a form of hallucinogen.
Okay.
Alright.
So, I'm still in front with the plague doctor, right?
Yes, that is correct.
So, what was that brown stuff that you threw, Doc? It made
Oh.
the wolves look a little angry at each other.
He kind of looks at you for a moment, and then back to the horses, reaching back into his coat, as he takes out this labeled pure black container, handing it to you.
Okay, I take it with my left arm, not my right, because it's injured. I read it.
It reads black salt.
Black salt. Can I do a history check to see what black salt does?
By all means, yes, you can.
The direwolves. History, right?
Yes.
22 total.
You begin like trying to rack your brains, and you remember black salt is actually a moss that grows within caves it's very, very rare to find, and in humans, the worst case scenario, it makes them actually suffer from what in common days words we know as depression. But when afflicted on animals, it causes them extreme anger and loneliness. Speaking of anger and loneliness, fucking dog. Professional,
I'm sorry.
everyone.
I'm sorry.
Professional. Ah!
I don't control my dogs. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
We don't have instincts.
I talked to the plague doctor. I tell the plague doctor. So, you toss black salt onto them. Isn't this dangerous to have it around?
He kind of like goes back for his container, and he just puts it back in his coat. Kind of like looks at you for a moment inquisitively, and then looks back forward.
You're not gonna talk to us at all. Hey, Fergus, Wench, you two okay back there?
I'm still shook up as to what the hell happened.
We were being attacked by direwolves, right, Max?
Timberwolves.
We were being attacked by timberwolves.
Hmm.
Told you guys to stay in the cart. Didn't listen.
We got worried. Well, I got worried. She just followed along.
Let me guess, the winch was bored.
Yes.
Pretty much.
You never change, winch.
Alright. After about 2 hours, you hear this, like the horses are now extremely exhausted, and you kind of reach a semi-clearing. It's a very large chunk of land that isn't completely coated in trees. As you see the plague doctor like, pull the rein slightly, the horses stop for a moment, and he steps out.
I'm guessing we're setting camp here, Doc?
He turns to you and nods.
Okay. You two, get out of the cart. We're setting up camp here.
I get out of the cart and try to look around.
You begin looking around, and... Sorry, Valkyria, what do you do?
I just said I do the same.
I didn't hear you. You kind of look out and you see around you there are a lot of trees and vegetation. There are like a few nests, as well as the sound of chirping birds.
How peaceful.
What time of day is it, Max?
Is it? I'd say it's about 4 in the afternoon.
Okay, we're gonna have to set up camp. So, Winch, Fergus, go gather up food and logs. I'll go look for logs as well.
I'll get the logs.
Alright, can you all give me survival checks?
This is where things go bad.
I got a 5.
18.
14.
Alright. I'll say that you try to find wood, but you're kind of encumbered by your hand as soon as you try to pick stuff up. And that kind of like stops
I just
you
come
from
back
doing
with
a lot of work.
with twigs.
Yeah.
With
kind
2
of thing.
sticks. I'm like, I found firewood.
For the rest of you do manage to find some logs, luckily, and you kind of like put them in the fire pit.
I put my 2 twigs in.
Put your 2 twigs in, right?
I put also 2 twigs in. Like, yeah, we're gonna need a lot more for fire.
Luigi
What do
manages
I find with it?
to come back with like 4 hefty logs.
Okay, you're actually pretty good, wench. I go to the black doctor. Doc, is there something you can do about my shoulder? I can't protect everyone properly with my shoulder like this.
Kinda looks at you again, kind of funny. But then he like sees your shoulder. And he kind of like puts a hand in his coat again as you see like him going through his vials without actually seeing the label, somehow distinguishing them. He begins kind of taking mental notes as he looks at you. And he pulls out a small purplish jar with also a label.
Can I read the label? Well, or is it still in his hands?
It's actually in a different language, Elvish. If any of you speak it, I assume you don't.
I am gonna tell you pretty soon. Give me a second.
No, I don't.
I think I chose Draconic. I don't have Elvish.
You don't exactly know what this is, but as you look inside, it's like black kind of leaves. You can give me a survival check to see if you actually recognize it by smell alone, but it's very.
16.
It is concentrated mandrake.
Okay, Mandrake. What do you want me to do with this, Doc?
Kind of like points at it, then at your arm.
You want me to pour it over my arm?
He nods.
Is this gonna hurt?
He shrugs his shoulders.
You don't know if it's gonna. Okay. You're the doctor here. I take off my shoulder piece, pull down my undercloth, my tunic, and I pour this vial on me, on the shoulder.
You kind of begin pouring it. What was once what you thought to be petals almost seeps out like black caustic ooze as it hits your arm. Just a few drops, and then he kind of snatches away the jar. He kind of like puts it back in, and then you just see him like shake his head slightly in disappointment as he begins like smearing it slightly on your arm. And after a few moments, all the pain is gone.
Okay. Wow. That stuff actually worked. Thanks, Doc.
He nods and goes back to his business as you see him like setting up a table along with some vials, pestle and mortars and other things as he starts seeking out those red flowers which you saw him pick up earlier.
Okay. Fergus, you're a good marksman, right?
Yeah.
Can you go hunt some food? I'm a good cook, so I can cook for us.
I can try.
Valkyrie, what do you do?
I'll go with Fergus.
Alright,
I'll start setting up the fire.
okay.
I grab my gun and then we head out.
Alright, Ferguson,
Don't use your gun.
you have a bow, I remind you.
No, okay. I guess I'll use
Wait,
my bow.
quick question: do I have my crossbow? Put on
I'll
the sheet.
say yes, you do have a crossbow if you so wish.
Okay.
I need you both to give me survival checks.
$16. The
7.
last two.
Can
so
I use my
18.
inspiration?
I'll say yes, you can if you so wish, but it isn't something I'd recommend.
I got 7 then.
Alright. How much did you
I
get,
got
Louis?
18 with the bonus.
Alright. Kind of like spot a very large deer with exaggeratedly large horns. As it looks at you for a moment, you see it has 4 eyes.
Well, that's not normal.
What else is normal around here?
You take the shot.
Yeah.
Alright, give me a check, please.
Survival.
I just walk back slowly.
No, you have to give me a dexterity check to take the shot with a bow.
11. Wait,
Plus
that's
your
30.
dexterity, yes, which is high. Your proficiency in your bow, which is around plus 6 or 7, I believe?
No, it's 4.
It's only 4.
I got 14.
14 is enough. You managed to hit it, roll for damage.
D20, right?
Mm-hmm.
4.
4. Perfect. Okay. You managed to nail this thing straight through the skull as it completely goes through it and it falls dead.
I'll go to check on it. See if maybe...
You kind of go
Still
move
digging.
forward and as you do, you kind of see it twitch slightly.
I'll check if it's still, I guess, his heart's still beating or something.
Although
Why-
you nail
why-
this thing straight through the head, you can actually see that it's still like trying to get up.
While Fergus is checking, I just stab it in the heart.
Sure, give me a strength save. No, strength check. There.
Natural 20.
You stab it square in the heart. It stops twitching. And yeah, you've successfully killed a very strange deer.
Now to carry it back.
I need you both to give me strength checks.
Oh god.
You have advantage.
Natural 20 again.
I got 20 in total.
Alright, you managed to like lumber it back. And alright, meanwhile at camp, I need Hayes, please give me a survival check.
Survival check. 14.
You managed to start up the fire with your hand not being as fuck as it used to be. It's kind of easy for you now. You're kind of used to doing this, having missions on the road and whatnot. You begin warming it up slightly, and then you see them coming out of the woods with this massive fucking deer, like...
Hey guys, look at this weird fucking deer I found.
Hey, that's gonna be enough to last us for a week.
Yeah, but look at its face.
The plague doctor sees it, and you just see him, within a second, pull out a crossbow, shooting it again, straight through the head. And you actually feel it twitch in your arms.
Oh, what the heck?
You
Why
see
did
him
he shoot it
reload.
again, Doc?
You see him reload slowly as he moves over to the creature's stomach. And you see that his arrow went clean through. And he kind of stares at you both like... No
Should I drop
extreme
this?
reaction? He nods as you say that.
Now I drop it on the floor and take a step back.
He kind of
I
Can
get
you-
up and move towards them as well and readying my sword.
So, Doc, can you explain to me why you just shot it again? After we stabbed it in the heart and I shot it in the head?
He kind of pulls out a scalpel and begins like skinning it slowly. And as he does, in an instant he plunges his hand within the beast's chest cavity and pulls out 2 hearts.
Question.
Yes. Out of game or in game?
Yeah, out of game.
Yes.
Do we get splattered with blood?
Not exactly, because he's very delicate with the scalpel and I assume he took a few steps back, so the moment where he just essentially fists the chest cavity of a beast, you're kind of taking a few steps back.
Okay.
So yeah. You see
So
him
what type
just pull
of
out.
deer is this?
He takes both of the hearts and you just see him like beginning to put them in vials. And you both see they're actually not punctured. And he hands one to you. You see it. Still beating.
I need an explanation, please.
Yeah, forget it. The doctor's not gonna talk.
Kinda
He's
takes the,
quiet type.
he takes the jar back, puts it in the coat. He kinda like looks over to you, then at the fire, and gestures with his head.
Yeah, I'm gonna cook it. Let me just get it gathered in meat.
What makes you think it's safe to eat, though?
You kind of, the plague doctor turns to you. Even though you can't see his eyes, you kind of can tell that was a stupid fucking question.
Wench, it's meat. It's fine if it's cooked.
I need to roll for something.
Oh no.
Alright. In the back of Hayes' mind, you begin to hear this strange voice. It is safe to eat. Don't worry.
What? Who just said that?
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah, I say it out loud.
Said
Said-
what?
What?
We say in unison.
Did one of you just talk?
No.
Must have been my imagination then.
Yeah, that's what you get for insulting people.
I whisper to Valkyrie, he's going crazy!
You kind of. What do you do? How do you like carry on now? This is kind
I
of free
con-
action time, so you do you.
Yeah, I continue doing what I was doing, thinking I would just imagine that voice.
All right.
We
I
just start gathering around the fire, I guess.
Mhm.
To prepare to eat.
I stare at the deer, seeing it cook, still wondering what the hell it is.
You see the plague doctor like go over into the more shady part that is barely hid by the light of the flame, as you just hear the sound of crunching as he seems to be crushing something in his pestle and mortar. do
What
guys
you
do?
doing?
I continue cooking the meat slowly.
It takes you a solid hour to like kind of cook food for everyone. In the meantime, you just everyone give me a perception check. I assume every now and then you guys glance towards the doctor.
5. And here come the low
10.
numbers.
19.
Okay, so Root's the only one that sees this. As you kind of like glance at him, you see him take out the jar with the still beating heart for a moment. You see him take it out and put it on the table. And within a second, a large scalpel goes through it as he stabs it again and again, repeatedly, perforating
Why?
each and every side of it.
Why are you doing that?
He's not exactly in earshot of you. Do you walk up?
Yeah.
He kind of turns to you and just doesn't really respond to you at all. You just see him then begin to slice it up slowly. Inside were filled with maggots and other form of disgusting creatures like cockroaches and centipedes as well as spiders.
Oh, I mean ew.
Shut up, Road. He begins pouring them into his pestle and mortar and he begins crunching them down into this fine paste. He takes out an empty orange vial and starts pouring them inside.
I just talk to Hayes and tell him, are you sure we're safe with this doctor?
We're stuck with him, so
And
you know
then
how
It's
the book
either
is.
him or death, I guess.
Hayes, as you're cooking and you're like setting the last piece, as well as when Root kind of left, you hear in the back of your mind, get her away from me. Get him away from me. Sorry, I forgot your gender. It's 2019.
Wait.
Wait, get him. What?
Oh. Guess
Who you're talking about?
You just
Valkyrie's
hear
a
in the
woman.
back of your head, get him away from me.
Who's
To
head?
who?
You don't
Who's-
know.
Who's him?
Mark is the one that's meant to be reacting. Jesus
Yes.
Christ, chill.
Who's him?
Ruth and Louis. Shush. I got this. I think back to myself. Who's him?
Him, the one next to me.
Who are you, first of all?
Are we talking about me? 'Cause I'm
You
not
are
sure.
more dim-witted than you seem.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I'm suddenly hearing you.
You kind of feel something hit you at the back of the head. And the thing is, there's nobody there.
The hell?
Give me a perception check.
Everyone,
that's
Natural
him.
fucking 20!
As you're hit at the back of the head, you kind of like your head is semi-forced to look towards the plague doctor, where Fergus is pestering the doctor.
Hey, what you doing?
I yell out to Fergus. Fergus, your food's done. Come here.
Ooh, food. I go over and get my plate of food.
It's a nice big old plate of innocence. Anyway, so yeah. You hear in the back of your mind, thank you. Enjoy the meal. Leave me a plate to the side.
I'm saying it in my back of mind. Leg doctor?
Ding ding ding. It's about fucking time.
How are you talking to me through my head?
There are potions that allow me to do many things. Many properties and many spells without the use of an arcane focus. Perhaps
Why
this
don't-
could be one.
Why don't you talk to us normally?
There are little people to trust in this world. Little people that I can let inside.
So you do not trust both of them?
I know you were a king's guard. I know you were blighted not by your own accord. Therefore you are trustworthy.
See, what can I ask you what our mission exactly is? What's going on? Because I don't believe the Duke a second when he said that it's just because of the son of the king.
It's not the son of the king. It's the son of the duke. His wife. As well. They've both been afflicted by the strange malice that can only be cured with a wish spell. A wish spell is a very powerful thing, and the only way to create it is with a singular herb that is rarer than most.
So he's basically sending us on a goose chase.
I have not seen these herbs in many centuries, but perhaps there is some hope from a scout that said that he had heard tales from an elven village.
I see. Well, I guess the only way he would have got me to actually go was by saying it was the king's son.
I was
I'll come and
called
bring-
in a week ago to try and help already. What herbs I had were useless.
I see.
This
Ah.
is the last resort.
Yeah. What was up with the deer?
The deer is an abnormality, one of many that we will probably encounter within these arcane-rich woods. This is witch territory, or used to be. There is still blood stains within the soil, and therefore mutated beasts such as that will exist. Always
Okay.
search for a second heart.
We have to be a bit more thorough. Understand?
That is correct.
I'll bring you a plate of food when it's ready.
Appreciated. You just... Okay, Fergus and Valkyrie, you just see Hayes begin to like hum to himself slightly. What do you guys do?
There's something wrong, Jackson?
No, nothing's wrong. Also, you can't stop calling me Jackson. Most of my friends call me Hacks.
Hacks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my name isn't Wench either. Just so you know.
It's a cute nickname, though.
I mean, honestly, every time I've met you, Valkyrie, you've always been in the king's chambers. So, forgive me for calling you a wench.
I'm used to it.
I mean, I do know you, and I do know you're using the king to get what you want.
Not like I can do anything about it.
So, actually, Valkyrie, you never told us why you were in the Duke's quarters. I mean, the Duke's throne room.
I was summoned there from my quarters and I had no idea, to be honest. I'm as clueless as you guys are.
But did you do something before?
The Duke does not summon a non-guilty person to his chamber, to his throne room. I
I
know this.
guess he got a better wench then, because he wants me dead.
You aren't the Duke's wench. Dude, you're the king's wench, not the Duke's wench.
Oh,
Professional!
This is gonna be a running gag.
Yeah, it's got that.
Professional!
Can we just turn this to professional 20? It's no longer the filthy 20.
Filthy.
Filthy.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I was just summoned in the quarters by the king, and that's all I know. Again, clueless as you guys.
I don't believe that. But
Yeah, me neither.
Well, I'm sorry.
let's not pry into it, Fergus. So, Fergus, I don't know a lot about you. Where are you from? You're an outsider.
Just from a village far up.
What brought you to the city?
Trying to find a better life. Trying to find money. Try and send it to my sister.
I see. Excuse me a second. Once the plate of meat is done, I walk up to her and put it on the Black Doctor's table.
Kind of looks at you and nods his head slightly, and he hands you a small silver flask.
I think to myself, hopefully the connection's still there. What's this?
Some after dinner snack for you and the comrades that you accompany.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I walk back to the others.
Can I have Valkyrie and Fergus to please give me a perception check to see if they see him take the flask?
Sure. 18.
Alright.
9.
You kinda see him like in the very barely lit area. There was a small glint of silver, and you realize he picked up something, and you just see him. I assume you pocket it, Hayes?
It's still in my hand, and I just set it next to me when I sit down.
Alright, so all of you see this silver canister in a way.
What's that?
It's a little gift from the doctor. We'll eat it. We'll take it after we eat.
Okay then.
It takes you about 2 more hours to fully get done, and you kind of see there's no light even breaking through the leaves here anymore. It's probably around 8 p.m. And yeah, the Plague Doctor begins packing up his items as you see him leave a strange glass contraption that seems to be dropping liquid whilst it's being heated up.
Okay, we're not gonna ask what it is. Well, okay, curiosity. Doc, what is that you just left?
He looks at you, and the back of your mind he says, medicine.
Medicine. That in my mind, I'm going medicine.
Okay.
Medicine for what?
For whenever we need it. Better to
See.
have it than not to.
I see. Understandable.
Hex, who are you talking to?
Louis, it's in my head. You're not hearing this.
Yes, but I'm hearing you talk to him, no?
You're
No,
just
I'm-
hearing him hum in a way.
Okay.
We're just
Uh,
sitting there in awkward silence, looking at Jackson Hayes, just blankly staring at nothing, and like, what the heck is going on?
He's just going. Are you gonna come down sit with us, Doc?
He shakes his head and he starts making his way back to the caravan.
Oh yeah, Doc. Can I ask one more question?
They say that out loud or in...
No, it's still in my head.
Alright.
You're not human. What are you?
That is something I cannot share.
Well, you decided to trust me, so if
Yes,
there's something you
so-
can't share,
That is
I'm not
still
gonna push you.
something I cannot share.
understandable.
Right? And we are going to take a small break there for anyone that needs to use the lavatory and whatnot. That is
Okay.
the end of part 1, and we will be back very, very shortly. And we're back. Alright. We left off with our party taking a long rest, so if you used any spell slots, any health, which you didn't as far as I'm aware, you regain those. You clamber back into the caravan and you begin heading down this dirt path. What do you guys do in the meantime?
Where is everyone? I'm in front with the Plague Doctor.
I assume Fergus and Valkyrie are in the back.
Yeah.
We're riding along, I guess.
After a solid 5-ish minutes, you begin to hear the sound of a tussle, I'll say.
I do a perception check to see if I see this tussle.
By all means.
Okay. I see jack shit. I got
Lovely.
3.
Does anyone else wish to try?
Sure. 14.
Root?
Plus. This was perception, right?
15.
Yes.
So 16.
You kind of make out the shape of a person that's like limping through the woods towards the dirt track. As you kind of like see him wave frantically towards the caravan.
I don't see this, do I?
You don't see this, you kind of look around, but you don't really pick up on it yet.
Stop the caravan. There's someone
Why?
there.
Doc, stop it. Stop the caravan.
The caravan like halts as the Plague Doctor like pulls slightly at the reins, and he kind of looks around. Kind of like jumps down slightly, pulling out a crossbow and aiming it at this person. And this
No,
is going.
Doc, don't aim it at him. Let me talk to him.
Sean, please introduce your character.
From this point.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Crow. I'm a hunter. I encountered the dire bear, and it injured me gravely.
You kind of see him with a very, very unbandaged, bleeding leg as he's kind of limping towards the caravan slightly.
I dash to Sean's character, and
Yeah.
give him. I don't know your name yet. Grabbing him from underneath and helping him towards caravan.
Strength check.
Okay.
And what arm?
Both his arms are fine now.
Remember the doctor gave me medicine
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
I
arm? I got a natural 20.
You Prince Charming sweep this little lad off his feet.
I ship it.
Oh, shut up, Ruth. And you carry him towards the caravan frantically as the Plague Doctor kind of like puts away the crossbow back in his coat and starts taking out a bandage from his side bag.
Don't worry, we have a doctor with us. He will help you. I am sorry I picked you up like this, but it's the fastest way.
Crow, how do you
I
react
had-
to your Prince Charming moment?
Confused, yet also grateful.
I'm not gonna question which kind of confused, we all know which kind.
Really?
Yes, really.
Actually, wait. Let me roll for this.
Oh no.
I'm not okay with this.
Really?
Professional! Filter! Alright.
Anyways, I set him down. I tell him, my name is Jackson Hayes.
I'm Crow.
His eyes
Uh,
sparkling.
the guy that has sparkling eyes is Fergus, and the wench over there. Sorry, I mean the lady-looking woman over there is Valkyrie.
Hi.
The doctor
Hi.
just like moves down to your leg, and you just see him take out a pair of almost garden shear-looking scissors as he begins cutting the fabric of your pants to kind of like rip the cloth off as quickly as possible, as your leg is bleeding profusely.
Crow, don't worry, he's a professional. I think in the back of my mind, you are a professional, right?
Yes, I don't wear this fucking mask for fun.
Professional.
Just making sure.
I guess even if he wasn't a professional, I'll take any help at this point.
You
As you can see, I almost lost my legs.
flashbacks to our other campaign.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, Doc, I just realized I never asked you what your name is.
There's no response.
Damn it.
Damn it.
Oh,
You kind of see him take out this well, you recognize this, the large vial of red flowers, as he begins like taking them out and kind of crushing them in his glove and squeezing out a very black reddish liquid, pouring it over the wound. It burns like hell. I might add, would you like to give me a charisma saving throw, please?
Oh.
14.
You managed to bite your lip rather than screaming like a little bitch.
Does his lip bleed?
Not yet.
can I do an investigation to see if there's a thick twig around?
By all means.
You're in the car. Oh yeah, we're stopped. Never mind.
Gosh.
So investigation, 8 in total.
You don't really see one that can work, sadly. The plague doctor like just begins kind of like wiping at your wound slightly. The burning sensation is just... it's bad! There's no other way to put it. And the doctor actually puts like a piece of leather between your teeth so you can bite down on it. Fergus and Valkyrie, how are you reacting to all of this?
I'm just staring at him and all.
Valkyrie is
Just thinking
probably...
how much. I'm just thinking how much he would scream if I stab him.
Give me a charisma check.
Oh no! So,
How much?
19.
Why?
So you just have this really goofy grin on your face as you're thinking to yourself, how much blood would be spattered? You
Wait,
sadistic
just to
fuck.
clarify, Max, just to
Oh.
clarify, my charisma is +5, and I did not count that.
God damn it, Louis.
You smile like the Grinch.
Why are you grinning like that, Valkyrie?
No reason.
Uh-huh.
Flashbacks to all the sacrifices I've done.
The one child. Congratulations. It took you like 5 seconds to remember.
I'm as clueless as you guys.
I keep my hand ready at my bow because I don't trust his smile.
No one trusts her smile.
No one trusts her in general. But anyway, back to the game.
I lay my hand over his shoulder and do a charisma to make him feel comfortable.
Okay, sure. This is turning into yaoi territory, but I'm fine with it.
Yes!
Shut up, Ruth. What the fuck is this stream anymore?
Yeah,
Not in that
fun
sense.
one.
Just like
Just give me a charisma check. You
just to clarify,
stroke his shoulders very sexually,
and bad.
and I'm gonna say Crow is very, very like the fuck about this.
Sean, wait, arousal check.
Oh god.
17.
Fuck's sake. For those that don't know how the arousal check works, the higher the number, the more. Yes, very professional. Thank you. Ah.
Even,
How did
no,
this
no.
turn out this way?
So, even though that's my reaction, at the same time I'd say no, Yowie.
With my dying breath. The plague doctor just kind of like stares at you. In the back of your mind, you're like, you just hear, "Fuck is this gay shit?"
It just in the back of my mind. It just turned out like this. I didn't mean it.
The plague doctor just like you see him take out this very large hypodermic syringe as he takes something out from his one of his vials and pour it inside. He kind of flicks it 2 times to get the air bubbles at the top, and then just spurts out a tiny bit. That way it doesn't inject air into your veins, and he plunges it square into your leg. Within a moment, you just feel the flesh of your leg begin to regenerate.
In back of my mind, should I ask what was in that vial, Doc?
It was extreme morphine mixed in with elements of troll blood. Causes extreme regeneration.
Good to know. Good to know that you can make something like that.
It's very rare to come by. We need to kill more trolls if we want to make stuff like this.
Taking a life to make this.
I don't have much of a choice. Put them in the van.
Yeah.
Sean, your character's leg is completely fine. You can kind of like feel the skin. It's very smooth like a baby, obviously, since it was just gnarled. And yeah, you can stand up, you can do everything with it.
I stand up, I check my movements, see that it's all okay. I turn to the doctor and say, "Thanks, Doc."
The doctor
better now.
looks at you. You don't even see any shred of like an eye behind the green tinted lenses, as he kind of then points to the caravan and then to you.
Yeah, the doctor wants you to come with us. So don't fight it, just come.
Yeah, I was gonna ask for a ride anyway, because this place is kinda dangerous.
Yeah, you don't want your leg to be cut off again. Well, should it?
Let's just say killing a monster here doesn't mean it's totally dead.
Yeah, we kinda realized that.
The
So,
plague
get into the
doctor.
caravan?
Yeah, the plague doctor goes back to the front and kind of like looks at you and does a sign with his head for you to go into the back of the caravan.
Yeah, I head back into the caravan.
I move into the caravan as well.
Right. You all clamber inside, and within a few moments, the caravan's back up and going. You begin venturing forward, and eventually, you exit the large vegetation and are now in what seems to be a semi-grassland area with an amount of hills. I'll say around 2 days of travel later. What do you guys do on those 2 days of travel?
I start asking questions to Crow to see who he is.
All you need to know is just that I'm a hunter. I've been out on the hunt since I was a young boy. I've been on my own since a very young age.
So, you got nowhere to go?
Nowhere in particular.
We're going on a hunt, per se. Do you want to join us?
A quest for a magic flower.
I guess that's fine.
It might be dangerous, and there is no gold involved. So, want to come?
I guess I can work on a team once in a while.
We'll keep you safe and alive at least.
Or try to.
Shut up, Valkyrie.
I look at her confused. Like, what's your problem?
On the back of Valkyrie's mind, you hear, on the list.
What? Repeat that?
You just hear your demon say, you want the list?
No, thank you.
Alright. So,
So,
after 2 days of travel, you eventually hit a neighboring town with a seaside view, as well as a port.
Max, can I ask you something?
Out of game? Yeah, by all means.
Actually, it's for my character. Is the blight completely covered my fingertips and everything?
It stops at around your wrist, which is covered by your armor.
Okay, so nobody can see that.
Nobody, unless they knew what they were looking for, they can't tell.
Okay. That's all I needed to ask.
No problem. You eventually enter the town. Again, the sound of cobblestone and gravel under the cartwheels.
One thing I needed to ask, how much gold do you have?
You, on your person, have none. The Plague Doctor is keeping all the finances on him at all times. So if you want anything, you'd have to ask the Plague Doctor for it.
Okay, I think in the back of my head, Doc, I've been needing to ask. You have the gold?
He looks at you and nods.
No, I was talking to him back in my mind since
Oh.
I have that connection with him.
Yes, we have gold.
Okay, so we can sleep on a bed finally.
There is no time for a bed. We'll be going first thing on the ship, heading to the east.
Okay, so we're heading to the east.
That's correct.
Okay. Shall I share the information with our allies?
If you so wish. The choice is yours.
What do you think about this crow fellow?
Another party member is fine, and from what I sense, he's not a natural user.
A natural user? What do you mean by that?
A person that is not new to some magic.
I see. So you're saying he's a magic user as well?
Some form. I couldn't exactly detect which part of him contained the spirits of the arcane, but that is a correct assumption.
Okay. So, I speak it out loud. So,
Okay.
unfortunately, we don't have time to rest. We're gonna head to the boat first thing.
How do you know that?
I have my ways of knowing things.
Mm-hmm. Is that
You-
why you keep staring off into space and humming?
You can both give me an insight check to see if you actually are realizing what's going on.
19.
16.
You both gather that there is some form of silent communication between him and the Plague Doctor that you cannot seem to understand.
I'm hurt.
Well,
What
tough.
are you, gay?
Hey, don't get me banned on Twitch.
I see the chat.
Chat is fine. I mean, I'd prefer if there wasn't the R word, but anyway.
Oh.
Fuck's sake, John.
Oh wait, he said not to use his real name.
Too late now.
Yes, R-A-P-E.
Grape without the G.
Great without Exactly.
Actually, that word is also a certain type of seed, so it's safe.
Rapeseed, now available at Tesco's. But
Yes.
anyway, let's fucking continue. Alright. Professional!
Let's-
Yeah.
Vagus, Valkyrie, let's just say you do not need to know what's going on right now. You just need to get to the ship.
He eventually stops the horses at the stable and gets out. Drops a small pouch, writes something on a piece of paper and hands it to him. He turns to you and then in the back of your mind, out. No. The horses will be returned.
Okay. This is our stop, guys. Let's get out. I exit the.
I assume everybody gets out.
Not at the
Yes.
same time, though.
We don't want to get stuck.
Alright. You all clamber out of the vehicle and you just see two peasants that work with the stable kind of lead them inside to get them groomed and cleaned and then eventually sent back. The plague doctor stands fully now and narrowly has to bend his head so he doesn't hit the roof. He kind of steps out of the facility and starts making his way towards the pier.
Well, let's make our way to the pier, guys.
And let's hope no one's seasick.
Everyone's fine with the sea, right? Valkyrie? Crow?
You can all
Yeah,
give me
sure,
a
I'm
constitution saving throw.
All of us?
Yep,
All
to
of
see
us.
if you're actually seasick or not.
Oh god. Oh god.
7 total.
Reminder, you have one inspiration to use.
7 total.
I got 8.
Would you like to burn that one inspiration you own?
I got the best one.
How much did you get, Louis?
1.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
not gonna use my inspiration. Everyone's gonna throw up.
Okay, can you guys actually reroll for fuck's sake?
9 total.
Fuck's sake!
I got
12. I got 12.
How much did you get?
1 again.
For fu-
So you look all tough, but you end up being seasick. How quite.
I got a 14, so I think I'm safe, right, man?
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
So basically, Valkyrie is like a dragon slayer from Fairy Tail.
No,
That's it.
Natsu. But
This
he's
is why
Karsic.
we don't have nice things. So, yeah, and how much did you get, Sean?
9 total.
Oh boy, would you like to burn your one's inspiration?
Yes, please.
Okay, 15 total.
Luigi, please give me another roll. I assume that's a natural one again.
I got a 2.
Well, that ain't too far off, but at least it's an improvement. You're still fucking seasick. Yeah,
I
this
just
is
had-
gonna be fun.
Can I just pet her back and rub her back for the entire trip while she vomits into the
It's a it's a 3-day trip. Oh god. This is gonna be fucking fun, lads. Alright, so you guys eventually make it towards the boats and you see the plague doctor eyeing them all. They're 2 small ones, a very large cruising vessel and so on and so forth. He kind of eventually moves over to what seems to be I'll say an army vessel. He kind of moves over to one of the guys that seems to be there slightly sleeping with his chair just an inch away from falling backwards into the water. And he kind of pulls the chair forward and the guy suddenly gets up startled oh, what the fuck you do that for?
Are we next to the
Yes,
doctor
you're
right
next
now?
one.
Don't mind him. He doesn't talk. I look at him what do you...
He takes out a scroll from inside his cloak and hands it to him, along with a black pouch. The guy, really groggily reads it, and his eyes widen slightly as he rushes on deck, along with the black pouch. After a few moments, a very well dressed gnome starts making his way down. Sorry. Alright, which one of you is a doctor? Ah, never mind, that's fucking obvious. He can, like, the size
can I stop you?
comparison is very different because he's like 4'5" and a 9-foot fucking doctor. Yep,
Max, can I stop you for a second?
yeah, sure.
When he was handing him the scroll, could I recognize the insignia that was on it?
You don't even have to roll, it's the insignia of the king.
Okay.
You can give me an insight check.
Will do. That's a 5.
You don't see anything, I'm sorry. Alright, so, you clamber onto the ship, along with this gnome who starts like barking orders to get the ship on the road. You just see them pull up the sails and so on and so forth. As soon as Valkyrie steps her first step on the ship, Constitution saving roll.
Three.
It's slightly getting better.
You go to the side and you vomit your guts out like completely. The side of the ship water is not looking blue anymore. That's gonna kill some fishes. But anyway,
I turn to the others. Is this normal?
I've never been on a ship with her, so I can't really say.
This actually seems kind of weird considering her character.
Yeah.
the gnome like turns slightly. Wait, isn't that the king's concubine?
Yeah, it is.
I go to pet her back.
Are you trying to tell me that bitch can swallow more semen than your entire fucking village? But Jesus Christ, you can't even handle some water? Fucking pathetic.
Can I roll for Constitution not burst out?
Yes, you may.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same.
I got a 3!
You burst out laughing.
I got 8.
3 plus...
I got 11.
I don't care, everyone bursts out laughing.
Yeah, same.
Alright, everyone bursts out laughing except Luigi, who is still vomiting, pure projectile vomiting into the water. You didn't even know a man could have this large amount of liquids within his own body.
Her.
Her body,
right.
fuck it, I can't be asked.
Did she vomit enough for this ship to move slightly?
No, not yet, I actually rolled. Luigi, give me another constitution saving throw.
The boat jerks forward with her vomit.
How much?
16. Thank God.
Fine.
16. It's like finally your stomach ends. There's a stop. As you're just there dry heaving for a few moments before you try to stand yourself up, trying to compose yourself. One of the crew members hands you like a rather filthy rag, but it's probably better than what you have around your mouth.
So, my character turns to Valkyrie. His sister laughing like, are you okay?
What does this look like, Sherlock?
It's hilarious, that's what it looks like.
Are you sure you emptied your whole stomach?
Do you want to turn around and look at the sea again, by any chance?
Do we have to roll again?
Sure.
I quit.
And on that note, we will be ending today's session there, as Valkyrie's character goes back to look at the side and just dry heaves like a mountain goat for a solid 10 straight minutes. I hope everyone enjoyed today's session, and I hope to see all of you next week as well. If you have any comments and or questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat now before I end the stream. As for the rest of you, if you guys need to go do something else, we can talk a bit after stream if you need be. Any questions? Yes or no?
From our side, there's nothing.
Alright. Alright. I guess we'll be calling the stream there then. Hope everyone enjoyed.
See you guys
next week.
Bye.
Bye.